So if it's time to break down your custom Micron and you haven't done so yet, here's a quick guide that might be for you. First thing I'll remove is this fluid control knob. If you're not familiar with what it does, it determines how far you can pull back that trigger, adjusting for paint flow. So once I remove that, I can take off the back handle. This gives me access to that needle chuck tightening screw. Once I loosen that, I can go ahead and take the needle out. Now I can finish removing that screw, and this will give me access to the needle tension tightening spring screw here. Now depending where I set this will determine the needle tension on that trigger lever. I like to hold it at a slight angle because that spring can fall off. So once you remove that, you have access to that needle spring. Now the needle chuck won't come out just yet. There is a lever on it, so you have to remove the waist plate next. So just give that a turn. It kind of came out together. There's your waist plate and the needle chuck. Now I can just give this lever a turn. There isn't a lever on the bottom of these. It's more of a shaft from side to side. So you just have to turn it slightly to take it out of the body. Now I can get access to that needle packing screw there. Since it's a Micron, most likely this 1.2 will work. Let's grab a hold of that with the screwdriver. Give it a counterclockwise spin. I like to hold it at an angle so it comes out all together. Now I will move on to the front end of the brush by first removing that crown cover. Then I can remove that air cap, and this exposes the nozzle. I highly recommend this Iwata nozzle tool for that. This allows you not to over torque it when removing it. Give that a little spin and try to hold on to it. It's a very tiny piece, and I left it on my screwdriver. Now I can remove that head unit. Now take note, there is an O-ring right here inside the body, and there is a plunger right here inside the body as well. Sometimes those can fall out, so you want to keep an eye on that. The only other thing is the air valve components, and if you need to service that, there's the other Iwata tool for that. There's two different sizes depending which air valve screw you have on that brass part. So just unscrew that, and keep in mind from that spring it could pop out easily. Once you remove that, you can gain access to that plunger, and there's your air valve components. I guess I'll go ahead and finish removing the other two pieces. I don't have my other Iwata pliers right here, so I had to use these. So just give that a turn. It was on pretty tight. And here's your air valve casing. If I need to get that little plunger out of there, I just use this tool, screwdriver one, and push it on the bottom, and it'll fall right out. And there's the breakdown of the CMB. There is one little piston right inside the body there that sometimes can fall out on its own, so keep an eye on that. But if you ever have to remove that, I just grab my screwdriver, give it a little push, and then it falls right out. So if you lose that, then you won't have no engagement with that air valve. So it's a tiny little piston. So as far as putting it back in, I kind of just try to drop it in there, and then I grab my screwdriver again and push on that head. It looks like a little nail pretty much, and push it right back in place. Now that that's in, I'll go ahead, since I have the screwdriver in my hand still, and put that packing screw back on my tool and reinsert it back inside the body. Little counterclockwise spin. You can actually hear it click most of the time. And then tighten it up. I like to do this first, that way I can see if I have everything as tight as I need it, by inserting the needle back into the body so you can feel how the tension is. You don't want it too tight and not too loose. You want enough where that needle doesn't fall out, but also has to be tight enough where it blocks that paint. That feels pretty good. I'm going to tighten it just a little bit more. And now I guess I'll move on to that air valve again. So grab your air valve casing. The shorter side of the plunger with the little black O-ring on top faces towards the top. So So just push that inside the body. Now you can put the spring back over that shaft. Grab your air valve tool. Try to catch it around that shaft. Counterclockwise, you'll feel that thread grip. And now you can tighten it back up. Now that that's all put together, just give that air valve a little push. Make sure that's going up and down freely. And you can screw it back onto the body. It's time for the front end by grabbing my head unit, tightening that back down. I still have my nozzle on my tool here, so I will carefully screw that back onto the body. Counterclockwise, you'll feel it catch a little bit. Hand tight is all you need. Don't overdo it or force it. These things break very easily. That's what this tool is great about, not letting you over torque it. Now I can grab my air cap, just screw that over the nozzle and the protective crown cover. So now that the front end's done, I'll go ahead and put my trigger back in, turning it sideways, then lining it up with my air valve. Now I have to put the needle chuck back in first with the skinny part facing up, resting on back of that trigger. Now I can put the spring over that needle chuck, and the smooth end longer part goes in first back into the body. Screw that back down, and now I can put my tension screw back on over that. Now I can grab that needle chuck tightening screw, screw it on just a little bit enough to catch, and guide your needle back in place. Now tighten that down and make sure everything's functioning freely. And you're almost done. You just need to put your handle back on the back and your fluid control knob. And now your CMB's all put back together. Thanks for watching, folks, and I hope this was helpful. Any questions, reach out here at spraygunner.com.